Welcome everyone to Nintendo Prime Live, your only place to talk directly to Mr. Nintendo Prime. So how you guys doing? We're going to get this live stream started in a moment. I want to let you know today we're going to be talking about the next Nintendo Direct and also some future flubbity flub with the channel. Now, without further ado, why don't you just drop your favorite emoji in the chat and welcome in your host, Nintendo Prime.
Welcome to Nintendo Prime Live. We have a special Friday night show for you guys because we did not stream yesterday. I was tired, I wasn't feeling that great, and I spent some time with my lovely fiance who, things are what they are sometimes. It's a busy, crazy, wild, wacky summer, and here we are, and Prime Gaming Fest is upon us. So, first off, big shout out to my one and only, my love, Julia Knudsen. She has been shipping out all of the old Prime Gaming Fest, the 2022 Prime Gaming Fest prizes. She's been in charge of all of that and has shipped out a ton of them the last 2 days. Over 50 different packages sent out over the last 2 days. So that is amazing. We still have one more batch and then the international packages to go. International packages are a little wonky when we're shipping, so should have those done, I don't know, at some point here. But whatever. The point is that all the old Prime Gaming Fest stuff goes, so all the new stuff can come on in and get ready for next week. All right. So shout out to her. Thank you so much for helping out with that and taking that burden off of my plate. Let's get some lo-fi dropped for you guys. All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about, don't we? Haven't really sat here and talked to you guys much since Monday, basically. And this is actually our first live stream of the month of June. So it's pretty exciting, right? Our first live stream of June. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's welcome everyone who's here. Let's start with that. Let's shout out everyone who's here at the stream today. We got 10,000 Noodles, one of our members is here. Charles Trudell, a member and moderator, is here. We have Sager, who is here, scrolling on the list. If you want to get shouted out, you just have to say something in the chat. We have Creepy Boy Blast is here. Natsu, one of our members and moderators, is here. Welcome. We have Johan Roshan is here. We have member Ichi Donley is here. How's it going? We have Jeremy Parks is here, member and moderator. Joy CJ. We have member Garrett Lambert is here as well. We have Sean's Small Corner is here. Member Vanata712. We also have Dio the Doge here. Scrolling down, we have Don Lewis, one of our members, is here. We have Gavin the Dumb is here. Scrolling down further. Let's see here. We have Brian C., one of our members and moderators. We have ePrimify is here. We have, scrolling down the list, Judas Christ 12 is here. Interesting username. We have Ari Dreamer is here. Let's see. Scrolling down. Tyler Cathy is here. We have member Jip Gaming, member Christopher Colazzo. We have developer _ Ace is here. We have member Kryptonite Crunch, member Don Lewis, member Moses White is here as well. Summer Toonlink is here. We have Ray Horizons, Latchland Mins, Daniel Arnold is here. Just going on this list. We have Yvonne Francois. Let's see. Member Jip Gaming is here. Member Chantel Holm. Let's see. Tyler Cathy. Scrolling down. Did we get everyone? No, member. Sorry. We have Zen is here. Member. Hold on. We said it. Oh, my thing just jumped. Back to where I was. Member Nick Lerma is here. Scrolling down. Oh, some of the hidden messages are weird. Member Korok C. Jr. is here. We have Alexander Flores is here. Member Christopher Mitzel is here. We have Wink Demand 07. Scrolling down. Member Dana St. Hilaire is here. Let's see. We have High Force is here. Oh, let's see. Gina Baby's here. How's it going? Member Meepers is here. We have Ty Shellbarger, Nick Gamer as well. Scrolling down that list. We have Tom Tycoon is here. Ice Macam. I think it's everyone. I think we got the whole list. I think we did it. Oh, man. So reminder as always, when we get super chatties, that we do shots and all of that, and we have a good time. That being said, you can also just super chat to support the channel, and just, if you don't want me to do any shots, you just put NS in your super chat. I won't do a shot then. Unless you want me to do a shot of water, I guess you can say you want me to do that instead. Anyways, the point is that you can support the channel through that way. You can also buy some of our Prime Gaming Fest merch, which is now live and in the pinned comment. We have t-shirts, we have hoodies, we technically have a coffee mug as well. It's a little weird. Order the 15-ounce mug, don't order the 11-ounce. It wouldn't let me change the sizing on the 11-ounce, so only the 15-ounce is actually sized correctly. So if you're going to order a coffee mug, go with that one. Otherwise, just get t-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff. I ordered some stuff. I ordered a couple new Nintendo Prime hats as well. So there's that too. I don't know if that's on that shop, but we're having a problem. Anyway, I don't want to get into that stuff. But anyways, that's a way to support the channel as well. You also can just like our streams, leave comments, and communicate. There is no need to ever spend a dime or give me anything. I just appreciate the support when we do get it. Now, there's a lot that we can get into. If you want to get any commentary in or have any ats you want me to read off, just at in the chat. Oh, I forgot, by the way, all super chats and member chats also get featured like on the video here. All right. I think I made it through the spiel. So, Nintendo's doing weird things. Obviously, they dropped everybody's 1-2 Switch announcement last night. They also dropped new Joy-Cons, new Joy-Con colors, pastel colors, which a little weird. I felt like the pastel color palette would have been better to release around Easter time, but you know, you could just drop it whenever. I guess it doesn't really matter. And I think they wanted an announcement to cover up everybody's 1-2 Switch, which did not get, relative to other tweets that Nintendo puts out there, much engagement. Of course, there was no screenshots or video of the actual game. In fact, we can go buy the game. We can buy physically. We can buy digitally without actually knowing what's in the game. In fact, we got an image that shows some Joy-Cons being held like this, which I assume is meant to like ride a horse or something, like you're holding reins. I only say that because the host of the game is apparently a horse. So there's that. And then you have another one where people are holding up their cell phones like, hey, what are we doing? We're playing like that game where you put a card up here and you try to get yourself to guess whatever that game's called, where you're trying to guess who you are based on the card. Anyways, so it's weird. I have no idea what the hell is going on with that game. Everything heard about it behind the scenes is absolutely horrendous. And they're selling it for $30, which is $20 cheaper than the original 1-2 Switch, which sold almost 3 million copies, which is nothing to scoff at, but obviously not like super impressive. In my opinion, 1-2 Switch should have been a packing game, but then that wouldn't really make this sequel any better because it tested really poorly with families. So parents and kids, literally, this is how bad the test. It's about as bad as a party game test can go. Here's what happened. They took parents and their kids, like a large group of them, okay? Put them in a room to play the game. So they're all in their own separate experiences. Every single one of them, kids and parents, said they were bored before they even got through one round of each minigame. When the minigames themselves are so boring, you can't get through a round without being bored. That sounds like a fundamental issue with the core of the game, which is strange because 1-2 Switch didn't really have that problem. On an individual basis, each mini game was all right in 1-2 Switch. Like, they weren't the greatest mini games ever. We all know it was a showcase for the Joy-Cons, but it was all right. It wasn't like horrendous. You know, you had the shaving game, you had the milking game, you know, dice shaking, etc., 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 you know, the quick draw. On their own, those games are fine. And in a proper party-like setting, 1-2 Switch was an all right game. This didn't even hit all right levels. And that's the concerning part. When we're talking about things like Ubisoft's Carnival games being a better party family game than this, oh boy. I mean, go play Pokemon Stadium on NSO and play the minigames. I mean, that's better. Like, so that's what we're hearing anyways. I haven't personally played it to give it an opinion, but everything we've heard behind the scenes, and I've got my own sources on this as well, is that this game's absolutely horrendous. Now, what I have seen since this was announced is people saying there will not be a Direct this summer because they announced this, which is weird. Furthermore, people go, there will not be a Direct this month, which is also weird. Now, I don't know when a Direct is coming, okay? We're going to get one. I just don't know when. Is it this month? Is it July? Is it August? I don't know, but one of those 3 months we're getting a Direct. Now, what does this mean for September when we usually get a Direct as well? I don't know, because we don't know what's coming after Pikmin. What we can say is that Nintendo has demos at Gamescom. Nintendo has demos at Nintendo Live 2023 and at PAX West. So with demos at all these events, and they begin in August, well, you gotta have something to demo. Now, it could just be DLC being demoed, which would be very, very weird. Nintendo literally hardly, well, not literally. A majority of the time, Nintendo doesn't even attend Gamescom. So the fact that they're attending Gamescom with game demos would suggest they have some important games they want to show off. Maybe a certain game starring a character named Samus, perhaps. I'm just saying that they have to have an announcement event at some point. And while Nintendo could forego a Direct and could go with the Twitter drop craziness, right? They've done this in the past, right? When did we find out about the release date for Bayonetta 3? Through a Twitter drop with a brand new trailer. Nintendo has been using social media, in particular Twitter, Instagram, etc., to announce games and announce important things about games. So it is possible they forego a Direct and just announce a slew of games all throughout the summer on Twitter. Now, that would be a very interesting way to go about things, and then we get a standard Direct in September. But I don't think that's what's going to happen because since we know so little about anything after July, I think it makes more sense that we are going to and should expect an actual Direct. And it's going to be a pretty important one because Nintendo is in the midst of, if they're not transitioning to the next platform, they're about to transition to the next platform. So this is a very important time period for Nintendo this summer and this next Direct. Because if they're going to launch new hardware, obviously there's a lot of pressure there. Got to get the launch games right. Got to transition correctly. But let's say new hardware isn't coming till the end of next year. This is still important because you got to find a way to maintain Switch's momentum until we get to the next thing. How can they do that when they probably want to save some of their biggest games that they have in development right now for the next platform? I don't know. Zelda's only going to be able to carry Switch for so long. Maybe all the way to Pikmin. Pikmin isn't really going to be a system seller. So what is going to be that game? And I swear if somebody says it's everybody's 1-2 Switch, I might have to reach through the camera and slap you. Like, that's just not what's going to happen. So Nintendo obviously has to have a plan. So we hope. The scary thing is Nintendo has a very bleak history in these situations. Let's say the new platform isn't coming until holiday 2024. There's a scenario we haven't talked about. This is not a scenario any of us want to see happen. But this is a scenario that would fit with what Nintendo has always done. If Nintendo has a new platform launching at the end of 2024, it is conceivable there are no more big games coming to Switch at all. Doesn't mean we won't get some ports or remasters, stuff like that. But after Pikmin 4, that might be the last new exclusive first-party Nintendo game for Switch, if they follow their old patterns. Now, I think the current president, Shuntaro Furukawa, has learned from the mistakes of Nintendo's past and won't let that be the case. That is, if new hardware is not coming until 2024. Because Nintendo's vast 30-plus year history in the video game realm when it comes to systems is that final year of a platform is dead. They just don't release games. They just don't. When they're transitioning to the next hardware, they let the old hardware die for a whole year. And then they launch new hardware, hoping to recapture imagination. Now, all of this is because the games they have in development are being pushed to the new system. This is Nintendo of the past. This is how they've always done it before. So if they do it again, that would fit in with the pattern of Nintendo pretty much always. Under the original owning family, under Iwata, they did that. That was always Nintendo's way. We stop releasing games because we're gearing them for the next platform. We have a whole year that's basically a blank slate, and then we launch the new platform and we have games on that platform. It's just been the way Nintendo's always done it. And this hasn't really worked out for them in general over the years. In trying to maintain momentum from system to system, usually you have a successful platform and then the next one doesn't do as well. Because Nintendo didn't maintain the user base from system to system. Now, a lot of it could be about that year gap. You give people a year to forget about your platform, then you launch something new. Most of the time, you want to stay in people's minds all the way up to the launch of the new system. At least that's what PlayStation does. That's what Apple and Samsung and all the phone companies do and stuff. So I do think that we should expect a Direct, because I do think Nintendo is going to deliver some goods. Now, obviously, if new hardware launches this holiday, I mean, problem sort of solved at that point, right? Like, if the new hardware is coming this holiday, I don't know that it is, but if it was, then it would make sense why we don't know what's after Pikmin, because they're going to start ramping that, hey, we got a new device. It could make sense. Why are they at Gamescom? They need to demo their new device. So it is possible that Nintendo might launch hardware this year, and that really solves everything, because Nintendo's done exactly what PlayStation does, releasing major games like Pikmin 4 and Tears of the Kingdom in the same year they're launching new hardware. That is the PlayStation way, and that is how Sony maintains momentum, along with going cross-gen for a year or two. Now, that's if it releases this year. Most people don't think it's coming till next year, holiday next year. So it's going to be an interesting time period. This next Direct is going to be very important. And I really hope that Nintendo maintains the momentum as best as they can. They're not going to be able to make Switch sell better this year than it did last year. They're not going to be able to turn the Switch sales overall around. That's going to be nigh impossible. But as we saw with Tears of the Kingdom selling 10 million in 3 days, the Switch user base is very active. Well, the Switch user base isn't growing like it once was. It's very active. They have 100+ million active Nintendo Switch users. This is Nintendo's data, not mine, from their last Nintendo financial briefing. 110, I think they said, active Nintendo Switch users. That means people who have logged in the last year. 110 million separate users. So, when you think about that, that means Nintendo has a massive fan base still buying and playing games on the Switch. So they can handle Switch sales dwindling if software sales are still strong. But you gotta have the software to maintain the software sales. Right now, we don't know what that software is gonna be. So this next Nintendo Direct is gonna be very important. Still don't know when it's coming. But yeah, that's my little spiel on that. What do you guys got any comments on any of this? I want to throw this to the chat. I want to get your guys' thoughts. Samuel A says, how do you think Nintendo fills the schedule until their next gen hardware launch, considering it could possibly be a year away or so? And look, imports and remasters are obvious, but besides that, I think that they still need to release big games. I don't think they can get away with just not releasing anything major. You know, I know you're not going to always have a Tears of the Kingdom level game, but you can have a Kirby in the Forgotten Land level game. That's got to come out. You could have a Luigi's Mansion. Like, they got to have games that people want to play that sell good numbers to maintain that momentum. So they got to have something. I mean, people will be like, oh, Metroid Prime 4. Even Metroid Prime Remake Shadow dropped at a discount, $40, or remaster, I guess they called it. The sales weren't great. It sold over 1 mil, but that's not good. If you want to see a 4, 5 million, 6 million, 8 million selling Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Prime 1 not being able to, move 2-3 million is a little concerning, I would say. So that's probably not it. I mean, it would be a quality release, yes. I think it'd be better as a cross-gen title, but hey, Nintendo does what Nintendo does. I've heard from a very, very close source to Nintendo that Metroid Prime 4 is done. It being done doesn't mean it's going to release this year. It being done doesn't mean it won't be a cross-gen release. But let's say they bring out Prime 4 this holiday. Let's say they drop a Luigi's Mansion this holiday as well. And that's kind of what they're hoping to carry the holiday along with DLC. And then next year, you got to have something. Let's say they drop a Kirby in the spring. Maybe another Paper Mario in the summer. Like, you got to have something. You can't just give us giant gaps like we had with Wii U or like we've had at the end of every console generation. Now, the key on this is, when is Nintendo launching that new hardware? Maybe it won't be holiday next year. Maybe it'll be summer next year. Maybe it'll be spring next year. Like, that's always key in this too, is when's Nintendo releasing that? Because that impacts their entire schedule. Because obviously they'll have a lot of things focused on that versus on Switch, rightfully so, at the right time. Let's see here. Get to some more questions from the chat. Charles Riddell says, does Nintendo go last with minimum a third-party showcase just for the next 3 to 6 months and then a big direct in August or September? It's possible they do a third-party showcase. I think some people might be disappointed with that. I know Famitsu said that there is a bunch of big third-party games coming to Switch this year. Look, we know about Mortal Kombat 1 and Hogwarts Legacy. You can argue those are big. They're AAA games, AAA multi-platform games. It'd be nice to get those out. And I think Mortal Kombat 1 is actually going to perform decent on Switch, because Mortal Kombat 11 did. Hogwarts Legacy, I don't even know how they're making that game run on Switch, if I'm completely honest. But yeah, they could. Maybe there's a lot more third-party games coming than we realize. I have no idea. There'll be more indie worlds as well. Obviously, we're going to get some good indie games. So they could do that. I just don't think they will. I don't think they're going to make us wait till September when they're at Gamescom. They're at Gamescom in August. They got to have something to demo at Gamescom, and it's not just going to be, let's demo third-party games, because Nintendo doesn't need to be there to demo third-party games. The third-party companies can be there and demo them themselves. So why is Nintendo there with game demos? They must be showing something, right? Let's see here. Alexander Flores says, you have a schedule for this Prime Gaming Fest or still seeing the details? Also, WTF with everybody's 1-2 Switch. Yeah, we can talk about Prime Gaming Fest when we get to the segment about the future of the channel, because that's an event we have coming up next week for people who don't know what Prime Gaming Fest is. Also, when we end this stream, it'll kick you to day 1 of Prime Gaming Fest so you can set your notifications and drop a like, because we do have day 1 is up and ready to go. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see here. ePromifus says, how do you feel about knowing your Furby and Tamagotchi are plotting to kill you? I mean, I personally don't have a Furby or Tamagotchi anymore. So if they're plotting to kill me, then they're coming back from the dead. Pretty sure those toys of mine got thrown out like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It's been a long time. Let's see here. Risky Gulamar says, what's your opinion on Switch selling 125 million hardware, yet almost all third-party games on it flopped hard? I wouldn't say all third-party games flopped hard. I think that is a massive misconception. We wouldn't have gotten basically all of the Wolfenstein games wouldn't have been on here if they were performing horribly. I don't think we would have got, Doom and then Doom Eternal if the Doom 2016 performed horribly on here. I don't think we would have got Doom Eternal. We got that. We got Mortal Kombat 11, and now we're getting Mortal Kombat 1. We've gotten NBA 2K every single year. I think it's a misnomer to say third-party games are performing poorly on Switch. I think third-party games are finding their ground, and the companies that put in the work and stick with it are reaping the benefits. I mean, think about how well Octopath Traveler did on Switch. Think about how well Live Alive, whatever, did on Switch. That did really well. So did Triangle Strategy. I think you're seeing the third-party companies that put in the work and deliver good quality ports or just games in general on Switch and do it consistently are being rewarded by the Switch audience. Though people that do a shoddier job are not being rewarded. Now, in some cases, sometimes it's too little too late. Like when Diablo 3 came over, that was awesome, but it might have been too little too late. Same with Civ, right? We haven't, Civ 5 came over, it might have been too little too late. Now, I'm curious how The Witcher 3 sold. I'm still seeing people play The Witcher 3 on Switch. So I'm very curious how Witcher 3 did. It's hard to know because, we didn't get Cyberpunk. Dude, I mean, Cyberpunk couldn't even run on a PS4. Let's not even talk about trying to get Cyberpunk to run on a Switch. So, yeah, would the next Witcher game come to to a Nintendo platform? I mean, we just haven't had anything come out from CD Projekt Red that you would even think would be considered. Right now, what would be considered would be the next Witcher game, right? That would be the thing that you might consider for a Nintendo platform, would be that. But we'll have to see, because I think at this point that would be on the next Switch or whatever the next Nintendo device is anyways. So then it's kind of a moot point about, power or this or that. Like, it'll be a whole new platform. Who knows? Now, if you're talking about, hey, it sold 125 million and we're not seeing any third-party games pop off for 15, 20, 30 million copies, there's very few games like that happens on PlayStation and Xbox. Dude, Call of Duty is one of those games that pulls that off. Obviously, Grand Theft Auto, pretty much anything from that side of the woods does really well. You'll see games pop up like a Hogwarts Legacy that performs decent, but still didn't even outperform Tears of the Kingdom overall. So you have to look at it from multiple angles. That what is considered a success? Do you have to sell 5 million copies on Switch to be a success? Or is 800, 900, a million, is that a success? What is a success? And I don't know that we know, because it changes for companies. Obviously, for NBA 2K, they are doing enough sales every year to keep bringing NBA 2K. Like they just keep doing it. And it's not like they're letting the quality of the Switch ports drop. We are getting NBA 2K every year. We're getting it with all of the features. We are not missing any elements, and it's relatively bug-free. Consistency, building a basketball audience. I fully expect NBA 2K to continue on the next platform. So I think it all just depends on who you talk to and what we're looking at and technical limitations. Like we were supposed to get Overwatch 2 and then we're not, but then Overwatch 2 also canceled its PvE content. So, you know, the third-party companies are having their own issues too. Plus we had COVID happen. That obviously didn't help. That being said, I think certain third-party games have been successful. We just haven't gotten all of them. Like, I think a Call of Duty could be successful on this platform if they would put in the time and give us a good version. But we haven't gotten one, so how would we know? Now, maybe we're about to get them for the next 10 years. I think at this point, that would be mostly on the next platform, right? Like, I don't know if we'd ever see a Call of Duty on Switch at this point, because by the time if that deal ever goes through and Microsoft wins their appeal with the CMA, I mean, we're not getting a Call of Duty on the platform until next year, and by then it might be for the next platform. You know what I mean? So like Switch might never see that. Now we've seen Call of Duty be successful on Wii. Call of Duty was selling 1 million plus every single time on Wii. They considered that a success, and that's why they kept giving us more Call of Duties. So I think third parties, my advice to them is if you run a major franchise like Assassin's Creed, the new Assassin's Creed dropping this year, don't expect that on Switch at all. But if you run these major IPs, I think if you dedicate to creating a high quality Switch version and you bring out that version every time you release a new one, you're going to see a slow buildup in audience. Because remember, the Switch is an audience that you might not have captured. Nintendo fans are an audience you might not have captured. You need to be consistent with releases, and I think you'll see the rewards. I think NBA 2K has seen the rewards. There's now a dedicated Nintendo Switch 2K community. That's insane, right? Yeah, actually there is. There's a dedicated community of 2K players that prefer to play on Switch. That's awesome. And I think you could see this happen if companies keep being consistent. They can't just release one game and go, oh, nobody wants to play. Dude, you're releasing to an audience that may have not even been aware of your company. You gotta be consistent. I think Bethesda's been consistent, but then they were bought out by Microsoft, so that probably ends the Switch support from Doom and Wolfenstein. Maybe it doesn't. Microsoft does like Nintendo, so who knows? Maybe there's some negotiations that keep those IPs coming to Switch, but anyways. We'll see what happens because we haven't gotten new entries in those IPs in a little bit. I mean, Doom Eternal was the last one, I think, so. Let's see here. Alexander Flores. And I also think Nintendo is just waiting for very late June or July to have all of the spotlight to announce the new hardware. Maybe because they have a Wii U PTSD and not want to fail. I don't think Wii U PTSD. I mean, here's the thing. If you're confident in what you're bringing out, you don't care what anyone else is doing. Because you're confident in your product and you know it's going to do well. Wii U was an interesting situation because when they announced Wii U, they did it at E3, and they were very confident in that announcement. Like, Reggie Fils-Aimé was on stage talking about how this is a console for hardcore gamer. I mean, literally, they used the word hardcore gamers on an E3 stage. When does Nintendo ever talk like that? Especially after Wii. What are we doing? Why are we talking about hardcore gamers? This is a Wii, but for you hardcore gamers. It's super powerful, unprecedented partnership with EA. And we find out, no, it's just as powerful, a little bit more than what's currently out there. A little bit less in some ways. Really, yeah, it's a big step up from Wii, but also, yeah, those other platforms are replacing with new systems too. So this actually is just looking like another Wii way behind situation and confusing branding and blah, blah, blah. So Wii U had a number of issues. I don't think it was the way they announced it and the confidence they had. more or less, I just think it was a bad timing, bad product, and just not bad branding. Lots of bad things. They made so many mistakes and fumbles with Wii U, including apparently lying to EA about what the damn device was going to be and how powerful it was going to be, because that unprecedented partnership completely fell apart once EA realized and got dev kits, and they were like, oh, so it's not that powerful. Think about this. The Wii U is basically, let's just, for practical purposes, the Wii U was on par with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Some ways it was a little better, some ways it was a little worse, but from a practical standpoint, they're all within the same ballpark of power. And yet, launch year 2012, it still couldn't get the current version of Madden. It had to get a previous year's version without the physics engine, even though it had the power of the other platforms. Yeah, that unprecedented partnership completely fell apart once EA actually got dev units and realized how weak the Wii U was compared to what they thought they were getting. So, anyways, that's a whole different conversation going into the Wii U and going back and figuring out why it failed. Everyone's got their theories on why it failed, and I think it's everything. Any excuse you have for why Wii U failed, yes, it's probably part of the reason. I don't think there's any one thing that explains why Wii U failed, but I do think there's a massive combination of reasons. So, let's see here. As for your question, they could announce new hardware soon, or they could not announce hardware. Like, we don't know what Nintendo's doing, right? Nintendo keeps things very close to the vest. We do hear murmurs, but remember when we were hearing all that Switch Pro stuff back in like 2020 or 2019, 2020, 2021, and then it just turned out to just be Switch OLED. So right now we're not hearing anything, and maybe that's a good sign. Maybe the silence is just the calm before the storm. We'll see. Scrolling down, trying to get to as many questions as we can. Yes, I am way behind in the chat. At least here, I have the chat live updated here. Here where I'm reading the questions, it's behind because I'm trying to get to as many questions as I can. Moses White asked, I think Nintendo has a point to letting the console die for a year, because how much less excited for Tears of the Kingdom would you be if it came out 3 years after? Well, what does that have to do with anything? How much less excited would I have been for Tears of the Kingdom if it came out I wouldn't have been any less excited. What are you talking about? They announced it in 2019. Let's say it released in 2020. Why would I have been less excited? That makes no sense. I wouldn't have been less excited. Dude, when they announced it in 2019, I nearly fell out of my chair and had a heart attack in the hotel. What are we talking about? I definitely wouldn't have been less excited. Would have been probably a very different game. I don't know, but I wouldn't have been less excited. That's weird. Nintendo has a point to letting the console die. Well, every time they've done it, the next console has done bad. So whatever that point is not a very good one, because Nintendo has been horrendous at maintaining user bases from system to system. They have not been able to do what Sony does. Sony sells 100+ million consoles every time. PlayStation 3 is the only exception, and it sold 80 million, which is way better than any other Nintendo platform had sold until Wii and Switch. Think about this. PlayStation 3's worst selling home console outsold all of Nintendo's home consoles but Wii and Switch. So that lets you know that Sony's very, very good, even when they're having a down generation, of maintaining their user base system to system to system. So Nintendo's very bad at that. So what they've done hasn't worked for them. And their current president has talked ad nauseum in his first 2 years at the helm, at every financial briefing, about the cliff. Nintendo always has it, and we want to avoid it. We're tired, or at least he's tired, of watching Nintendo squander its success. And Nintendo has factually squandered all of its major successes in the past. All of them. Completely squandered. When it comes to system sales. Just completely squandered. Oh, sure, they eventually bounce back, but it usually takes a generation or two to get there. Think about this. The Nintendo Entertainment System was the number one selling home console from Nintendo until Wii. That means the SNES sold less, the N64 sold less, the GameCube sold less. For 3 straight generations, Nintendo couldn't figure out how to even get to the success level of the Nintendo Entertainment System. In fact, they kept selling less and less. Super Nintendo sold way less than the Nintendo Entertainment System. N64 sold way less than the Super Nintendo. GameCube sold way less than the N64. It took 3 generations of them selling less and less and less before they get that 4th generation with Wii and turned it around. So, Nintendo has not been good at maintaining their user base. Here's hoping that this president makes the decisions and directs Nintendo in a way to do it. Remember, we don't know that much about Furukawa. He doesn't go in front of the camera. We only hear about him at financial briefings. He doesn't pop up in dev interviews. He only really talks about business because he's a business guy. He is through and through a numbers man. So, could being a numbers man work to the benefit of a transition? Maybe. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see, scrolling down. So many questions coming in. You guys are awesome. The handhelds didn't fall off a cliff. Don't be selective with the sales numbers. Okay. Let's talk about the handhelds. Let's talk about the handhelds. Speaking of not falling off a cliff. Let's talk about the handhelds. Okay? You brought them up, so let's talk about it. Remember, falling off a cliff just means not being as successful as the system prior. Okay? That's the definition of falling off a cliff. Now, Wii U wasn't just falling off the cliff. Wii U was falling off the cliff, going through the earth, and ending up in the 7 layers of hell or something. Like Wii U wasn't just falling off a cliff. Wii U was well beyond that. But let's look at this. Game Boy, 119 million sold. Game Boy Advance, 81. What is that, like 38 million less unit sales? Yeah, they failed to hit the success of Game Boy. And they have multiple versions of the Game Boy Advance. The SP, right? The Mini. Like, they have multiple versions of the Game Boy Advance. Just like Game Boy had multiple versions with the Pocket and the Color. And yet, they sold almost 40 million less units. Didn't really maintain that user base, did you? Didn't really maintain that success. Then they have the DS. Boom! 154 million. Second best-selling console of all time. Then they have the 3DS. 75 mil. 3DS sold less than half of what the DS did. So, yes, actually, factually, the 4 generations of handheld hardware we had, the first was huge, the second was significantly smaller. So even the handhelds experienced the cliff, the failure to maintain a user base. Now, the handhelds were dealing in much higher numbers. So it doesn't look as drastic, but it kind of is. Think about this. The Famicom sold basically 62 million, right? The original NES. Super Nintendo sold 50 million. They couldn't maintain that 60 million user base. They lost 10 million going from generation to generation. Then, at about 50 million Nintendo Entertainment Systems, they sold 33 million N64s. They lost another 17 million off. They couldn't maintain the user base. They just kept going down. And then 21 million before we got to Wii, right? It was happening with the handhelds too. The handhelds were just at a much larger number. So I'm not being selective. It's literally happened with their handhelds and their home consoles. The handhelds were just much bigger numbers, But the drops were actually almost more drastic. Going from 19 million to 81, that's not a 10 million drop off. That's a near 40 million drop off. Percentage wise, it's actually a larger percentage drop off than going from NES to SNES. And then the DS to 3DS is one of the worst drop offs in Nintendo company history beyond Wii U. So, yeah, it was actually happening. The cliff still happened. It was just a much larger number. So you're like, oh man, how can you say it's a cliff when you sold 81 million? Because that's still 40 million less than the last platform. Oh, how can you call it a cliff when the 3DS still sold 76 million? Because that's still less than half of the system before it. It's all relative. They've failed to maintain the user base every time they find success. They found success with the NES, never maintained the user base. They found success with the Wii, never maintained the user base. They found success with the DS, failed to maintain the user base. And now here we are again with Switch. In contrast, PlayStation's not perfect. The drop off from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 was a cliff. Gotta remember, that was a cliff. Now, the difference is the growth from PlayStation to PlayStation 2 is something Nintendo's never seen. They've never been able to release a sequel platform that outperforms the prior. The original PlayStation sold 103 million units. PlayStation 2 sold 155. PlayStation did something Nintendo's never done. Release a sequel platform that outsells the prior. Nintendo's never done. We just went through all the numbers. Nintendo's literally never done it. Sony did it. Now, the caveat of Sony doing that is they had a massive fall off. They had their DS to 3DS moment. PlayStation 3 sold 87 million, which is a massive drop off from 155. That is peak Sony. 155, peak Sony. But then they bounced back with a very respectable PlayStation 4 performance. As we know, it was like 114 million. Which is ahead of PlayStation 1, by the way. Ahead of PlayStation 3. In fact, it's their second best-selling home console ever. And then we have PlayStation 5. The numbers are still rolling in, and we're not going to have the final numbers for a while, but all indicators are the PlayStation 5 is doing pretty well. So what Sony has done is maintain an audience on home console. Now, they haven't gotten back to their peak, but they've been able to maintain 100 million plus users and not really lose significant chunks of momentum beyond that PS2 era. Because even on PS4, they had a bigger audience than they did on PlayStation 1, suggesting that going from PS1 to PS4, the overall PlayStation audience has grown, even if they didn't quite hit that 155 peak. So, yeah, Nintendo would like to be there. They would like to not have fall off, big success, fall off, big success. Nintendo would like to be success, success, success. Maybe a fall off here, then another success. And they just haven't been able to do that. So now, can Sony ever get back to that peak? I have no idea. I mean, we're talking about best. I mean, there's only two systems that have ever been up at that peak, right? DS and PlayStation 2. Like, nothing's even come close to those. Like the next closest system is literally the Nintendo Switch right now. You know? And by the way, I undersold PS4. Apparently, it's now updated to 117 million. Sorry, I didn't look at the recent Sony financial report. Now, Sony obviously, I mean, you can look at PSP to Vita. Obviously, that was a big drop off. But Sony hasn't really, outside of PSP, they've never really been successful with handhelds. Obviously, so. Any thoughts on Hollow Knight Silksong? I played it in 2019 and it's absolutely, utterly amazing, but Team Cherry keeps delaying it, and I have serious doubts it even comes out this year. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'd rather it be delayed and done right. I don't know what's going on with the development team. I know one of the key members of the team, I think him and some family suffered from COVID, and that probably really delayed things a lot, but I don't really know beyond that. That was just something that was put out there by one of the developers, but I don't really know anything going on, but I'm really excited for it. I did beat the original Hollow Knight, and that's rare for me. I don't beat a lot of indie games, but I did beat Hollow Knight, and I was stoked to play Silksong at E3 2019. In fact, it was one of our most viewed videos from E3 2019 was us playing Silksong. So it kind of sucks that it hasn't come out yet, because I think there'd be a lot of interest in our audience for Silksong, and I could cover it, but you know, we're just kind of waiting. And it's such a big indie game that it would be in a direct, not an indie world. Even though I'd love for it to appear in an indie world. Let's see. Will Hogwarts be delayed for next gen Switch, says Chase Smith? I have no idea. I mean, they delayed it twice now. Now it's coming November. We'll see. Maybe they're waiting for the next system. Maybe they hope the next system's coming this holiday. I have no idea. I mean, they should know, because if they're releasing in November and they're doing it on the next system, they would obviously have dev kits by now. Maybe that was the delay. Maybe it's, oh, we're almost done with the Switch version we're going to release. Oh, but Nintendo just sent us a dev kit for the new system. Oh, man. Look how much more we can do with this new system. But then, one of the key developers of Hogwarts Legacy came out when the delay was announced and said, we're completely dedicated to delivering an absolute full and complete Hogwarts Legacy experience on Nintendo Switch. That was a developer, like a key developer on the, so it's like, they gotta still release it on Switch, right? Like, even if they're going to delay it for the new platform, they still got to release the Switch version. You can't make that promise and then just not deliver it. Of course, you could. Overwatch 2 was canceled for Switch. A number of games have been canceled for Switch. Gollum probably should have been canceled in general. Kind of feel bad for the developers at Daedalic who made that game. Kind of feel bad for them. They got a lot of flack publicly. And while the game is obviously not that great, and I played it at PAX East, and I told them, I'm like, man, this is really rough. And this comes out soon? If this is what it's running on a PC right now, it ain't gonna run like, I mean, not even just like, it just jank. It was so janky. But, so I don't know if they were rushed to get it out or didn't get the time to, I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't working from day one, but they were under contract. Sometimes you're contractually obligated to deliver a game even if you know it's not coming together. And they're supposedly working on a new Lord of the Rings game, but it's hard to trust anything they make right now, Lord of the Rings wise, because, and by the way, Daedalic's made some good games before. That's what's kind of sucks about it, but there's a lot of pressure when you go from like making indie games to making a large IP game. There's a lot of pressure. And maybe that was the thing. Maybe the pressure got to them. Who knows? I would be interested to talk to their developers, interview them sometime just to find out. Try to get them on a podcast. Hey, if you guys ever watch my stuff, hit up my DMs, hit up my email. Love to get you on a show and talk about some of the stuff behind the scenes that you're able to talk about. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Samuel A says, do you think Nintendo can get away with F-Zero GX, Metroid Prime 4, all the DLC, and Paper Mario Remake for the rest of the year? No. None of those are system sellers. No. Got to have a system seller for the holiday. If there's no Switch coming, got to have a system seller. It's got to at least be like a Luigi's Mansion 4 or something. And you might go, Luigi's Mansion? Yeah, Luigi's Mansion's a 10 million plus selling franchise now. Yes. They need something. Something that's going to sell 10 mil. And I'm not saying in 3 days. Just overall, something that's going to sell 10 mil. None of those games are going to do that. They got to have at least one. There's no Pokemon. 2D Mario. Kryptonite Crunch was a 2D Mario. Absolutely. Could be a 2D Mario. Oh yeah, it's at the likes up. We're not at 100 likes yet? What's up with that? Tears of the Kingdom is not the holiday game, doggy. They're not price cutting it and they're not bundling it in. So it's no. We're getting another Mario Kart 8 bundle. Maybe they'll include all the DLC this time with the bundle to try to, finally add value. Is it possible for Xbox to show Hellblade 2? I really need this damn game. Yes, the Xbox Showcase on June 12th, which was part of Prime Gaming Fest, and we will be live reacting to. Absolutely. I really want to see. I want to see Hellblade 2. I don't think it's coming this year, but seeing an updated gameplay focused trailer with a very confident 2024 release timing would be great. I would love that. And then there's other games too, like Avowed. I really want to see Avowed. The thing is, Phil Spencer mentioned Avowed himself months ago, saying that he recently was in on a playtest of Avowed, and he said it's just wow. Now, Phil Spencer obviously has every reason to say every game is wow. And as he recently noted on the Kind of Funny Games podcast like a month ago, no one should believe a word out of his mouth because of Redfall. He kept talking about how awesome Redfall was going to be, and then it wasn't. It overpromised and underdelivered. So he's even saying like, hey, I think all these great things about some of our games coming, but also why should you believe me? And I give Phil a lot of credit for being that open and honest. Plus he was having a rough week because that was the same week the CMA stuff happened where they blocked the deal, but that wasn't the end of it because there's appeals and all that other stuff to go through. But yeah, it's interesting. And by the way, the CMA blocking the deal was never like the be all end all, because all that happens is it goes to a judge, right? So a judge can overrule the CMA's stuff. The CMA is not the law. They're just a governing body. And then it goes, with the appeal, it goes to an actual courtroom and all that stuff goes, all this stuff happens. So we'll see if Microsoft can win that or not. Then for us, that matters, because if they do win, we get Call of Duty. So I hope we get Call of Duty anyways. But how many times will Eric twerk during Prime Gaming Fest? I don't know if twerking is going to be on the Wheel of Death. So we might go, what the heck's the Wheel of Death? Our longtime members know. We could talk about that in a little bit when we get to Prime Gaming Fest stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 wouldn't be here if Mortal Kombat 11 flopped. Absolutely, Kryptonite Crunch. Absolutely. Scrolling down, Charles Riddell. Thronebreaker from CD Projekt Red did come. Tactical. Yeah. Thronebreaker game. Yeah. So the fact that came kind of suggests that The Witcher 3 probably sold all right on Switch, which, I mean, it sold at full price on Switch. That was one of the criticisms. It wasn't that the game didn't run and wasn't a perfectly playable version of the game, but it was full price, and people were like, man, you can get this game so cheap everywhere else with all the DLC. I think it sold well enough since it got that, so maybe CD Projekt Red might be targeting that next Witcher game to come on Nintendo's next system. I could see that being possible. And that would be great, because then you're just continuing the Witcher support and building up that audience. And if you think about it, with the Zelda audience here and everything, Witcher, I think, kind of fits right in with that Zelda audience a little bit. So I do think that, or hope that, we continue to get support from CD Projekt Red on the games that make sense. Again, Cyberpunk never made sense for Switch because they couldn't even get it to run on PS4. Couldn't get it to run well, that is. Let's see here. Yeah, GTA 5 is old as hell. I still don't know why we never got it on Switch. We've gotten GTA games on the damn DS, but we can't get it on. I don't understand the decisions that Rockstar. Oh, we can get Grand Theft Auto on DS. We can get a DS game, but we can't get. I mean, okay, we got the Grand Theft Auto trilogy on Switch, to be clear, but also that port was very poorly done. Sucks. I have it. I have a physical copy of the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. Very poorly done. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Oh, we're at 94 likes. Come on, we can get to a hundo. Let's go. Get to the next question here. Tyler Cathy says, any thoughts on Silk Song? Already gave some thoughts on that. Scrolling down. Let's see here. Whoa. I hate when it jumps on me. Hold on. Oh, it jumped on me because had to jump on me, damn. So some questions got lost because I was too far behind. Do you envision Nintendo will experiment with VR? Yeah, they already did it with Switch. They're going to keep experimenting with VR. Absolutely. Won't be surprised if this next generation we get an actual true VR headset that's an optional accessory. I wouldn't be shocked. They have multiple patents on it. They're still playing around with it. They're not going all in, they said, until the time is right. I don't know when the time's right for them, but let's see here. Scrolling down. Why is it so hot? I don't know why you're so hot, ePrimify. That's up for you to figure out. I have a universal AC in my house, so I'm not hot at all. Developer A says the PlayStation Vita flopped and did terrible as well. I don't know if it sold less than the PS3 though. The Vita did really bad. Is it even on the chart? Where's the Vita? It's got to be on here somewhere, right? I mean, come on, it's got the N gauge on here. It's got to have the Vita. Hold on. Vita. There it is. PlayStation Vita sold 10 to 15 million. Yeah. They never gave final numbers after 10, so they're kind of like, oh, it might have topped out at 15, but it sold 10 to 15 million, which, yeah, big drop off. Big drop off. Wii U like numbers. Let's see here. What is your favorite thing to do in Tears of the Kingdom? Exploration. The handhelds didn't fall off a cliff. Don't be selective with the sales numbers. I already went over that. Let's see here. Is there a chance Switch 2 comes out late 2023? If I'm being completely honest, even being a big fan of Nintendo, I'm getting very antsy for the next-gen hardware. I think the best time to release new hardware for Nintendo to maintain momentum is this holiday. But that doesn't mean it's going to release this holiday. Obviously, we've heard a lot of like potential developments and contracts and this and that and mass production this summer and blah, 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 blah. But even then, that still could line up for a 2024 launch. So who really knows? Is it possible? Sure. Nintendo never ruled it out. The misreporting out there that Nintendo ruled it out is not true. All Nintendo actually stated was they have not included unreleased hardware in their current forecasts. Well, yeah, of course not. You don't include unreleased hardware in current forecasts because it hasn't even been announced. They've never included it before it's been announced. So, yeah. Let's see here. DS, yeah, DS was 155 million. 3DS was basically 76 million, just shy of 76 million. But there's still some trickle sales of new ones on shelf. And they're not in production anymore. So, I mean, the numbers are pretty much final, but that's a wacky definition. I don't really think it's that wacky of a definition. If you sell less than the prior system by a pretty good margin, then yeah, you fell off a cliff. I don't really think it's that wacky. Just because it's still a lot relative to other things, relative to like the handhelds, it's still sold less and fell off. I don't. What are we talking about? A 40 million drop, an 80 million drop? What are we talking about? Those are big drops. I don't know how that's really that wacky of a definition, but you don't have to agree with me. It's fine. It doesn't really change the fact that they've never maintained the success. Wii U was a chasm. Yeah, it was. Let's see here. Why do most Nintendo IP keep losing to modern games on PlayStation nowadays? They don't. You're just factually incorrect. I don't want to get into this with you today, Risky. And start throwing the numbers in your face. Dude, there's like a single PS5 game that's sold over 10 million that's an exclusive. Why don't you just go ahead and look at the top 10 on Switch? And guess what? Tears of the Kingdom's not even on there, and it's already at 15 million. So I don't even want to get into this with you. You're so far, like, it's not even a debate. You're just factually, we have the numbers. You're just not right. Let's see here. Let's see here. What's up, Paul Gale? If you're still here, how's it going, man? Scrolling down. A to the B to the Z, aka Donut Lord. Would you rather have Link's new arm or your normal arm? I mean, Link doesn't look like he's in pain. Although he was in quite a bit of pain when it happened. Look, man, you get that messed up arm, it's all black, but then all of a sudden you got magical ability. Look, if I get the abilities with it, I mean, come on, who won't want the arm? Let's see here. You're still here. Nice, Paul. Nice. Philips CDI sold 50. Oh, geez. I'm not even going to get into that. ePrimify, you're just trolling around. Scrolling down. What do you suggest Nintendo should do? For what? I mean, I think they should release new hardware this year. If not, then they should release it in spring next year. That's what I would do if I were them. And then I would drop like Luigi's Mansion this holiday or something like that. Doesn't have to be Luigi's Mansion. It could be something else. I don't know if a Mario Party would do it. I think the next Mario Party needs to be on the next system. 2D Mario could be it, though. They could drop a 2D Mario instead. That would work. Launch a 3D Mario at the next system. Get a new Mario Kart game out, like 3-4 months in, by summertime at least. Yeah, dude, I think the next system could have a lot of momentum. Nintendo's holding on to a lot of games. Let's see here. Listen to my argument. Winning is all relative, Risky. During all those generations I talked about, Sony almost went bankrupt as well and closed a building and lost billions of dollars. In fact, Sony's in debt right now, more money than they have on hand. Nintendo has no debt. The companies just don't run the same. What is winning? If winning is how profitable are you overall, Nintendo wins every time. Besides for 2 years. If it's about who has the most capital to spend because they're willing to go in massive debt, Sony. Sony makes more revenue, but they also spend so much damn money. They're borrowing money all the time. So neither one of them are wrong ways to run a company. Nintendo pays more in taxes, as an example, than Sony does, because Nintendo runs at profit, Sony runs at debt. They're just two different ways to run a company. They're both highly successful. What measures winning is completely subjective. Sure, they sell more systems, but Nintendo's games sell more copies. What? And then you got to consider that while Sony, and this gets into that whole thing when you're talking about Sony versus Nintendo. Sure, they had their successful platforms. Hey, PS2 sold 155 million. Cool. Well, during that same generation, Nintendo technically sold a combined 140 million across 2 different platforms. You gotta remember, Nintendo was running multiple platforms. So now you gotta combine handheld and home console together. Like PS2 was just PS2. There wasn't anything else. But Nintendo had multiple platforms. So you gotta combine the sales and combine the software sales. So like it gets into this very tricky situation because Nintendo wasn't just a home console company. They actually were primarily a handheld company. If you look at the sales, their handhelds have always been their best-selling systems. But then you combine the home console and handheld together, and Nintendo's doing right up there with Sony in 2 different markets. But anyways, it's all about how you want to look at things. The companies don't run the same. So put it this way. Sony runs more like a Western company where you want to not have any money or be in debt at the end of the year so you don't pay taxes. Nintendo is one that goes, we never want debt. We just want to bank. So, let's see here. Would rather, I already read that one. That was a repeat question. You don't have to keep spamming the question, guys. What 5 games that already a lock for 2023 Best Game GOTY Award nominations? Tears of the Kingdom is the only lock at the moment. Nothing else has come out, I think, that's going to be, or that's guaranteed to be up for game. Now, you can argue Spider-Man, you can argue Final Fantasy 16, games haven't come out yet. So the only lock at the moment is Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think anything else that's come out is, Hi-Fi Rush, maybe. But I don't think anything else that's come out so far this year is a lock beyond Tears of the Kingdom for being up for the award. Now, I do think Spider-Man and Final Fantasy 16 will be up there, but we don't know for sure. Could Starfield be up there? We don't know. Like, these are all we don't know. Games haven't come out. But so far, the only game that's come out, in my opinion, this year that could be up for GOTY is Tears of the Kingdom. But I do think we have some potential coming out in the future from all the platforms. Well, maybe not PC. I'm trying to think if there's a big PC exclusive. I don't think there is. You know, like an Age of Empires 4 kind of thing. Well, there's a new Total War game coming, but I don't think the Total War game is gonna rate high enough to be up for GOTY. And PC games in general just seem to, unfortunately, get ignored by, like PC only games. They seem to get ignored a lot by the Game Awards. Game Awards is very console heavy. Let's see here. Would you rather have... Oh, okay, same question, just over and over. I'm just going to ignore it because you repeated it so many damn times. Let's see here. Microsoft and Activision are both American companies. How are governments from other countries able to block the deal? Because they do business in other countries. The deal can only go through if every country lets it go through. They have offices, development studios, and business dealings in those countries. That's why it doesn't matter. They're both American companies because it's an international acquisition. Let's see here. Twerking's on the wheel of death. Joycey has spoken. What is up with people wanting twerking to still be on the wheel of death? It's not even a horrible punishment. It's just embarrassing, I suppose. I know what it is. People like big butts and they cannot lie, right? A little Sir Mix-a-Lot. Almost feel like we gotta play Sir Mix-a-Lot for the next twerk session. Why do you guys... What is up with the twerking, guys? You guys are so weird. We're not even good at it. We're horrible at it. I literally have never twerked in my life until Prime Gaming Fest last year. So I swear to God, if twerking isn't on the wheel of death, I will hack your refrigerator. Well, I don't have a smart refrigerator, so it can't be hacked. I'll buy you one to hack. You know what, Natsu? Just for that, I want a new fridge. So I'm good. No, twerking won't be on this year. Thanks for the fridge. I just won't connect it to the internet. Let's see here. Let's see here. Sorry, my thing jumped again, so I'm trying to get back to the questions. Here we go. Birdie says, I'm guessing they're going to announce their code name for the next gen device this November and release it sometime in the spring. Nintendo usually doesn't announce their code names. The only reason we knew the code name for Switch at NX is because they wanted to deal with the Dena situation. They thought there might be some backlash. I don't think we're going to hear the code name at all out of Nintendo's mouth. I don't think they're ever going to tell us the code name. Sager says, hey, what do you suggest Nintendo should do aside from that collaboration with Dena? What do you mean? In general, release games, make more partnerships, get more Lego sets out, open more rides at theme parks? What are we talking about? More movies? Like, that's a very open-ended question. There's a lot. Sager's I wrote the same question. Samuel A, how big of a game do you think Pikmin 4 will be compared to 3? Much bigger or around the same? I think it's going to be twice as big. This will be twice as big. Which is awesome, by the way. Twice as big is perfect. That is, depending on how they handle it, of course, it's got to be good. But I don't know. Pikmin's never really been bad. Pikmin 1, 2, and 3 are all really good. So, I mean, I think it's going to be really good again. Fan we hear, has got your Nintendo announced a direct? No. How do I fix my membership being on the account with my real name instead of this one? I can't. I'm not. ePrimify, I'm not YouTube. I can't give you YouTube membership troubleshooting. I don't work for YouTube. I don't know how their systems work. That is for you to talk to YouTube support, not me. Kuru Kamina, what was the gap between Switch's reveal and its release? They revealed in October, released it in March. And you could argue they released it end of April. It was the very beginning of March. So you go November, December, January, February. Yeah, it was about 5 months. It was about a 5-month gap. Nintendo's holding on to Earthbound 3. Oh, so many people still hold out hope for Earthbound 3. What do you think could be Nintendo Switch's 2 gimmick? I say a second screen, detachable. A detachable screen to be used in DS mode, gamepad mode, or not be used and be inside the console. Like one that like slots up, but then Yeah, I don't think that's the case. That would because it's optional. It's just too expensive. It would make the device too expensive. I think they just put a camera on the back and say, "We brought AR back and AR cards. Be excited, please." Let's see here. I think for Zelda, just my insight, make a game using 3D NES Link amiibo as a base and completely remake that game. Dude, I'd love to see a Zelda 1 remake, man. Be a lot of work. Well, it depends. I guess if they just do it like Link's Awakening style, it wouldn't be that bad. But if they want to bring it into 3D, that'd be a hell of a lot of work. You're talking Final Fantasy VII remake territory. When's the next Nintendo Direct? After the next Nintendo Direct, we don't have a date for. September? I mean, they've done something every September, so I mean, September's not a bad guess. Otherwise, February. Otherwise, if we only get one more Direct this year, then February next year. Okay. So if we only get one more, then February. If we get two, then September. There you go. I can confidently tell you that. Let's see here. What is that as your background on the TV? It's beautiful. I want it. It's just a YouTube video. It's like a sleep video that puts like calming background and music on. There's a bunch of them on YouTube. You can find a ton of them. Just look up like peaceful sleep, whatever. You'll find like 12-hour videos on YouTube that have a bunch of cool stuff. Let's see here. How's my day going? Good. All right, let's get to the next question. Nintendo was sold more on average per year from 1983 to 2023 than Sony from 94 to 2023. I'll share a link. There are any doubters. Yeah. Well, I mentioned when you combine system sales together, Nintendo's been very successful, right there with Sony, maybe even higher. When you combine everything together, it doesn't mean every year they've been ahead. Of course not. But yeah, like the data's there. I just don't have it broken down. But I mean, the data's there. Obviously, you got to combine handheld and home console together when you're talking just overall sales. All right. Charles Riddell says, well, when fans want something, you do oblige, like the train. We haven't had a single super chat tonight. I don't think there'll be any trains tonight. We want to see Eric's working. No, it's working at all. Stop it, people. That's when we lose everyone watching Prime Gaming Fest. I don't even know how many people are going to watch Prime Gaming Fest. Check your Discord DMs. Sure. Oh, crap. I better. Forgot. That's a 4K monitor. It's a little small. So is this. It's not really much better. No. Nat2. Damn it. Damn it, Natsu. Just no comment. Paul Gale Network's got the numbers. That's a really in-depth breakdown, Paul. Might make for a fun video later if we can get. Maybe we should try to get some updated numbers. Paul, that might make for a really fun video. That'll make for a really fun video. I don't know that that's been broken down like that anywhere else. Let's see. You're still have my AR cards. Nice. What are some of the time periods you see Switch 2 releasing? How likely do you think each of them are relative to each other? I think there's 3. This holiday, next spring, next holiday. Like the holiday after next. So, this holiday, I would say there's probably like a 30% chance. I would say there's a 50-50 shot it's spring of next year. And you might go, oh my gosh, I only leaves 20% left. I'm not basing this on like a 100% scale and that's all there is. I'm going on an odds base. Odds base. So I think there's a 30% odd that it comes out this holiday. A 50%, coin flip odds that it comes out spring. And then I would say it's probably about let's go higher. Let's go 40% next holiday. So I think next holiday is not much higher odds than this holiday, and the highest odds are spring next year. That's about what I would give. Oh, let's see here. All right. Scrolling down. Developer Ace, we need Link's Awakening style remakes of the Oracle games. Also remakes of Zelda 1 and 2 would be amazing. Perhaps they could make a Metroidvania remake. No. Zelda 2 is not really a Metroidvania game. It's a combination of the top-down and then adding in... I don't know. It's an RPG. It's an RPG. It's just called Zelda 2 what it is. I want to see Mr. Pumpkin twerking, my lord. Do you still have your old Nintendo consoles and handheld collections? No, everything got sold in 2019. Well, my oldest school stuff my mom actually gave away to Goodwill when I was a kid. Or when I went off to college, which really made me mad. Because she didn't realize we had some rare stuff. Like, she just didn't know what I had. And she didn't realize it. I didn't think she was going to... It was mine. It was in a bucket. I didn't think she was going to give it to Goodwill. But here I'm in college. I come home and it's gone. I'm like, oh, no. Anyways. So anything else I gathered since then got sold in 2019. I have a DS still around somewhere. And a broken 2DS XL. I don't have any of my old PlayStation systems or Xboxes or other Nintendo systems anymore. Because I had a really rough year in 2019 and I had to sell everything, including my entire physical Switch collection. I had to sell everything just to, pay bills and stuff. So it was a rough year for me. Because I will never let my kids suffer. That's my big thing. I'm a father of 3. I will never make a decision that leads to a lesser life for my children or leads to my kids suffering in any possible way. So if I have to sell all my stuff, I have to sell all my stuff. If I have to quit YouTube, I have to quit YouTube. If I have to work 7 jobs, I'll work 7 jobs. But I will never make a decision that will hurt my kids like that. So if I got to suck it up, sell my collectibles, sell my old stuff, sell YouTube equipment, I'll suck it up. Gotta do what I gotta do. But hopefully we never enter that situation again. We're still not at the point that everything is kosher and we're rolling. We made $20 on YouTube yesterday. Okay. Like we're not at the point that everything's just good. But we're building. Yeah, $20 day is not a good deal. Imagine you put in a 10-hour day and only made $20. That's what yesterday was for me. So we're building. Just got to keep building on top of building on top of building. All right. The almighty twerk must return, my lord. I know people think that this Christmas is too early for new hardware, but from a company perspective, selling a non-vital thing that is kind of expensive, that period's a no-brainer. Well, absolutely. People spend a lot of money at the holidays. Holiday season's always a great time to launch systems. That's why systems launch during the holiday because you're almost guaranteed to sell out every single time. Not that Nintendo had a problem selling out last time, but I'm just saying that, you know, it's just a common sales period. Nintendo knows that most of their systems have launched. They've had a few that didn't launch there, but most of Nintendo's systems launched during the holiday period. So Nintendo knows that. But as they prove with Switch and they prove with others, sometimes the more you sell, the better things get. You know? Hey, we have our first super chat of the night. The seal has been broken. We'll see if that means anything. What's up, Samuel A? Thanks for the $5. He says, what other games do you think could come this year other than what is rumored, maybe Kid Icarus Uprising 2D Mario? Obviously, the Kid Icarus Uprising thing comes from Sakurai kind of pushing it on one of his YouTube videos. Whether he knows it's coming or not, or was just trying to get Nintendo to okay him bringing it over, I don't know, but that would be great. But other than what's rumored, like 2D Mario is rumored. So if you want to get away from rumored stuff, Kid Icarus Uprising's sort of been rumored because of Sakurai, but no insiders really had any information on that, so might not exist. 2D Mario has been rumored by Zippo. I would say if we want to talk about what could come that isn't rumored, I just keep falling back on Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion 4, to me, makes a ton of sense. It's been 3 years since the last one. It just makes, to me, in my mind, a lot of sense to drop that this holiday. You know, October-ish probably, maybe November. But if it is the only big game they have, then November, but we'll see. We'll see. Thanks for the $5, though. I appreciate it. You broke the seal. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate that seal being broken. First shot of the night. Happening 2 hours into the stream. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, though. We had a member chat. A very long member chat from the Elemental Hero, the Shadow Link Dragon Wolf King. First of all, welcome back. I know you returned the other day to your username, but welcome back, man. He's been a leader for 3 months. Hi, I never used this before, and I figured I'd try it out. Somehow my account is messed up for something. I'm excited for Prime Summer Game Fest. It's Prime Gaming Fest for us. But yes. To the moon! Let's go. Yes. Thank you so much for the member chat, man. I appreciate it. Let's see here. I think we caught up on all the ads. Sweet. See, guys, I told you I'd catch up eventually. It just took me, what is that, an hour and a half to catch up on all the ads. You guys were getting a lot of questions in. Lots of good questions. See, I love Q&A live streams like that when people have a lot of good questions. I guess we can get into the future of the channel, stuff like that. Paul Gale says beefy data, and yeah, it paints an accurate picture of the competition. Yeah, that's a lot of data to go through. I have your article open over here too, by the way. I'll probably read it later just for context, but you know, I don't want to make a video today when it's not updated to today, you know, because then we're not really giving full numbers. But next time you're gonna drop one, maybe just give me a heads up, and we can maybe do some cool content around it. All right, let's talk about Prime Gaming Fest, the primiest of the festiest of the games. First off, we need to address last year's Prime Gaming Fest. In fact, for the first time in like a month, no, I shouldn't say a month, but like in a week. What the heck? I don't know if that's a real email. So, yeah, I get a lot of emails. Most of them are junk. I'm like trying to log into my emails right now. I was going to open up my giveaway email. Again, haven't opened this up in a little bit. Giveaway. Session expired. Well, of course it has. I haven't logged in on this computer in particular in a long time. I think, is that the password? Isn't that the password? No, is it this? No. Whoa, I'm fat fuck. I can't type normally because I got 2 keyboards here. All right. Move out of the way, keyboard. Caps lock on? Oh, there we go. We got it. I was like, please don't lock me out. Please don't lock me out. Oh, jeez. I haven't been in here. Yeah. Haven't been in here in a bit. I can tell because I got all these. I use this email for Prime Video and Twitch too. So I got all these. Oh, we saved your spot. Oh, this. Oh, that. Oh, blah, 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 blah. All right. So let's address some stuff. I sent the code to this. Oh, I haven't sent the code for this. I should probably do this. I'll take care of that. Okay, I will say we are at 90% of the Prime Gaming Fest giveaway items from last year have been shipped. Couple things. One, I do apologize to all the winners last year for having to wait an entire year. That was not my intent. In my giveaway rules, it does state 5 years. Okay. It does state 5 years. I have 5 years to get the item to you. It's more of a legal protection in case I forget someone's giveaway item, more so than it is, oh, I'm going to make you wait 5 years. Ideally, it's shipped within a month. But shipping items is expensive. Now, could have I afforded to ship a random one here and there? Sure. But one thing I never put into my Prime Gaming Fest budget is the cost of shipping. And it's expensive. So we gave away a ton of physical items last year and a ton of digital. And I can just tell you right now, because I've been paying for it all week, shipping last year's giveaway prizes is going to cost, in the end, and this is just a rough number because we still have the international packages and a few others, it's going to roughly cost $1,500. So when you hear that number, an extra $1,500 needed to ship everything, I think it puts into context why it's taken so long to ship. I didn't just want to ship an item here or an item there, because I would feel so bad for everyone else who had to wait. So I wanted to wait until I could pretty much ship almost everything at once. And to have an extra $1,500 is not easy. So, yeah. Thankfully, Tears of the Kingdom popped off for us. For the span of 7 weeks, we were averaging over 40,000 views a video, and we made a bunch of money. And so I had the extra money to ship. I say extra money because to ship it puts me at no money, but that's neither here nor there. So what does this mean for shipping the ones that we're giving away this year? We're not giving away as much physical. Actually, I don't know if we're giving away as much in general yet. We'll see. We're still talking to some companies. There's stuff I'm doing as well, but anyways, the point is that there's going to probably be less giveaways this year. Last year was insane. So the thought last year, Prime Gaming Fest, or the E3 Extravaganza, which was Prime Gaming Fest #1, happened in 2021, was massive. We averaged 20,000 people watching every single day. It's a lot of people. So last year, we really upped it. We went crazy. We went from giving away $3,000 worth of items to giving away $8,000 last year. So $8,000 in items last year, $3,000 last year, the year before. But viewership year over year dropped by 150%. We weren't even getting 10,000 views on any of the Prime Gaming Fest days last year. So viewership went way off. So we ended up with what basically became a surplus of giveaway items. Ask Sam West. He's going to be really excited when his box arrives. He won a bunch of stuff. we ended up with a surplus of items where not only did pretty much everybody win, a lot of people won multiple items because we anticipated the show being at least as big as the year prior, if not bigger, because the channel was bigger. But actually, viewership fell off. Now, I think we know why. There's 2 reasons. 1, no Nintendo Direct. This year, no Nintendo Direct. 2, E3 Extravaganza is a bigger branding than branding around Summer Game Fest. It's just the truth. Summer Game Fest isn't as big as E3. It's just reality. Summer Game Fest isn't as well known as E3. So the branding E3 Extravaganza brought people in. The Prime Gaming Fest branding, Summer Game Fest, Prime Gaming Fest, doesn't. So, no Nintendo Direct, no E3. Didn't do well. This year, the channel is... God, we're almost twice as big as we were last year. Almost. Not quite. We're like 10,000 subscribers short of that, but like really close to being twice as big as we were last year subscriber-wise. Our average viewers, even on crappy videos, is still up from last year. But our live viewers haven't really gone anywhere. My best performing live stream of 2023 was probably the February Direct. Let me check. Let me go filter to, let's just click on, we're in lives, right? We just go by views, look up the first one that landed in 2023. Let's see here. So our, okay, correction. Our top live stream this year was me waiting at GameStop for 6 hours for the midnight launch of Tears of the Kingdom. That's our biggest live stream. Was midnight launch Tears of the Kingdom, waiting in line. But besides that, let's see. The reveal of Tears of the Kingdom's final trailer. That is 18,000 as well. And then besides that, we have the Tears of the Kingdom gameplay reveal at 12,000. And then we have the Tears of the Kingdom launch stream. That was a 10-hour stream at 12,000 as well. And then the February Direct at 10,000. And you might go, man, those are all over 10. Those are all really big Nintendo events. We don't have a big Nintendo event. What we have is us. We are the event. We are the event. So, I'm at the point that I would be shocked if we maintain 100+ live the entire show. I actually predict for a majority of the Prime Gaming Fest days, we will be sub 80 viewers. And I'm talking 80 viewers live at one time, not the entire stream will only have 80 viewers. That is my anticipation. Last year, we were around 150 around all the time. I think we're going to be half of that. Few reasons. Prime Gaming Fest wasn't as promoted this year as it was last year. I promoted Prime Gaming Fest for months last year. I've barely promoted Prime Gaming Fest this year. Barely mentioned it. There's that. 2, beyond the kickoff giveaway, I don't really have anything bigger than that kickoff giveaway that I'm giving away. So I don't have massive giveaway items to promote. I have giveaway items. They're just not that big of a deal, if that makes sense. Like, they're a big deal. They're things people want, but they're not things that would be like, hey, let's create a whole ad around this. Like, my ad for Prime Gaming Fest and my ad for the E3 Extravaganza included an image of like 500 physical items. And that's just, we don't have that many this year. So I haven't done that. And on top of that, my normal live streams aren't doing as well either. So we've been getting to the 100 mark, but we actually have 3 live streams in the last 4 weeks where we did not have 100 live at any point during the live stream. So there are some things that make me feel like we're not really going to have a lot of viewers this year. One reason I was going to cancel Prime Gaming Fest this year was because I anticipated a drop in viewers. With no E3, if we had E3, it would have been different. But with no E3, I anticipated a massive drop in viewers. Could be wrong. Maybe this is the year I should have went all in. To put this in perspective, and our mods know this, some of our mods know this, at least our longtime people know this. E3 Extravaganza was wild. We had 600, 700 people live pretty much the entire time. From day 1 through day 4, we had 600 people here all the time. It was insane. Sometimes we'd get up to 800, 900. Last year, our biggest peak last year was day 1. We peaked at 311, and that only lasted for 20 minutes before we quickly dropped back down to 150. And then we just kind of stayed at 150, the same 150 probably, for the next 5 days. So I would love to go from 3K to 8K to, hey, the channel's bigger than ever. Why are we not doubling that to $16,000 worth of giveaways? The audience isn't there for it. And as much as I want to go, man, I would love to, for the 100 people that are going to watch, give them all a billion things. It kind of defeats the purpose of competing for giveaways when I could just handpick you out of the audience and say, you win, because everyone's going to win. So if viewership this year is low, even lower than last year, which I think it's going to be, I'll just say this right now. This could be the final Prime Gaming Fest. So get that merch while you can. Prime Gaming Fest is... it's a one-of-a-kind event. When we originally created Prime Gaming Fest / E3 Extravaganza, the point of it was to give back to the community. With the kind of viewership we got at the E3 Extravaganza was not anticipated. And we weren't ready for it. We didn't even have the equipment. You guys remember our camera downtime and all the crazy stuff we had happen in the middle of the stream and all the technical difficulties? A lot of it was because of the sheer amount of people we were handling at once. We weren't ready. So here's the thing. The original idea was to get back to the community. We're not going to stop doing giveaways. We'll still do giveaways. But a massive giveaway event like Prime Gaming Fest is very time consuming. It is very stressful. It's very expensive. We rent equipment. We have to buy a bunch of stuff. Not just buying giveaways. We have a whole bunch of stuff we have to buy. I mean, I've literally on equipment alone spent already over $1,000 in the last month to run this show. And on top of that, that doesn't include the camera rentals and stuff that we have coming in. That doesn't include any, the current giveaway we have going on. That's over $1,000 worth of giveaways, plus more. So I'm at this point where to run this show is costing me, on average, and I didn't include this in the giveaway pool, on average, it's costing me about $4,000 a year to run this show. And that's without even paying Eric. Eric doesn't get paid. And that makes me feel guilty too, because I wish I had the money to pay Eric for being here for all of it. He's putting 12-hour days in with me. I want to pay him for that. I can't afford it. So the show cost me $4,000. And if we're not getting viewership, by the way, I never make money back. I want to be clear. This isn't about money per se. I don't need to make money on Prime. I've never made money on Prime Gaming Fest. Let me clarify. I've never made my money back. We make money. We get super chats and gifted memberships and yada, yada, yada. But we have never come close to breaking even. Prime Gaming Fest costs significantly more than it takes in, as it should. It's a giveaway event, right? It's not a raffle. It's a giveaway event. Its goal is to give back to the community. Its goal isn't to make a bunch of money. I'm thankful we've had some big days. The final day of the E3 extravaganza, the final day we made over $900 in super chats. Crazy. But even counting all that together, we still only made back about half of what was spent on the show. So it's a really expensive show. And if I'm going to invest that much money into the show to make the show what I want it to be, then I have to see a return on that. And not a return in terms of money, a return in terms of a show that's constantly growing. And if the show is now shrank for 2 years straight, then it's only going to be smaller the next year, the smaller year after that. And it gets to the point that I'm just giving away things to the same people every year. And if I'm trying to give away to the community at large, but I'm only reaching the people that come to my lives every single time, then how is Prime Gaming Fest viewership-wise any different than doing this kind of live stream right now? We have 122 people here. This might be higher than what we average here in Prime Gaming Fest. So how do we deal with that reality? Like, it becomes something that doesn't feel smart anymore. It was a really good idea. But if we don't have people watching, then it just doesn't make sense to do it. It makes more sense to take all the things that we would give away normally and just spread it throughout the year. People can enter links down in the description and call it a day. It just makes more sense to do that. We'd still be giving back. We just wouldn't have a big event. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't like to think about it, but that is something that is sort of out there. I have made the decision that if this year underperforms last year, then we just got to call it quits on the whole show. And for those of you that don't know what Prime Gaming Fest is, so you don't even know what you're missing out on. One, come to it this year. Two, dude, the giveaways are one thing. Everybody has fun at Prime Gaming Fest. Everyone has fun. It is a show. When I say that it's a show, it's a show. It isn't just me sitting here shooting the shit for 12 hours answering questions. Go ahead and ask any of the people in the chat that have been to our prior shows. It's a show. It is a production. It is a lot of planning. And it will be hard to say goodbye if I have to it. We will let you guys know on the final day of Prime Gaming Fest. We will already know. The decision will have already been made. So, hopefully that's not a sad day as we say goodbye to a 3-year run of what I feel is one of the best shows on YouTube. But, hopefully it's instead positive news. And we're already talking about Prime Gaming Fest 2024. That's the hope. Because if it's positive and we're doing Prime Gaming Fest 2024, let me tell you something. Well, but this might be the smallest giveaway pool we've had for any of the shows. 2024 is going to be the biggest. If 2023 shows growth, Prime Gaming Fest 2024 is going to be the biggest. The biggest, the absolute biggest show we've ever done. Not just in terms of giveaways. Oh yeah, we're going to top 8,000. Don't worry about that. We'll get 10, 12, 15,000 worth of giveaways. Don't worry about that. I'll take care of that. But I'm also... This music kind of makes me want to cry. I'm also going to put on the biggest production. I have a plan for Prime Gaming Fest to take it out of my house and into a real studio. Don't quite know if I want to pull that off in 2024, but I'm working towards it. It's on pause at the moment until we see how this year goes. But yeah, this is just a situation where I don't want this to be sad. I want everyone to look forward to Prime Gaming Fest, but this is sort of where I have to, this is my job now. This is my career we're talking about. And I have to be smarter about things if I'm not getting a return on viewership. I'm never going to make the money back. The point isn't to make the money back. The point is to get a return on viewership. Because here's the bottom line. It's my job now. So for 4 straight days, there will be no videos. It will only be Prime Gaming Fest. And I need to know that the audience is there. If we're only getting, 5,000 total views for the whole day, then the audience isn't there. And it's time to move on. So it sucks, but that's reality. So here, who knows? Here's the thing. This sounds really sad. You know how off base I could be? We have 130,000 subscribers on it. Last time we did this, we had 70. I have 130,000 subscribers. Maybe we set records. Maybe we top E3 Extravaganza 2021, even without Nintendo Directs. Even without an E3. Who knows? Maybe we at least average 300 a day. I don't know. Just has to beat last year. As I said, we'll know by the final day. So, let's do this thing, huh? Let's go in, and if there's any sad news on Prime Gaming Fest, it'll be saved for the last day. We're going to keep it mostly positive. We're going to have a lot of fun. A lot of competitions. A lot of Eric versus Nate. Oh my gosh, the Eric versus Nate lineup that leads to the Wheel of Death is wow. So let me explain how this works for those that are new. So this show is multifaceted, okay? It is truly a festival. So yeah, lots of giveaways, duh. But we not only live react to Summer Game Fest, Day of Devs, yada yada, all the gaming news going on. That's all these live shows. We're live reacting to all of it through Sunday. So we're not gonna. Well, we are gonna live stream the Ubisoft thing on Monday, but that's not gonna be part of Prime Gaming Fest. That's separate. So June 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, 12-hour live streams, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We're gonna live react to all that, and we're gonna have our giveaways. Sure, that's like the base of the show. We react to the gaming news, and we have the giveaways. That's not all we do. I'll tell you right now, June 8th, we have a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tournament starting at 9 a.m. The top 10 finishers at that tournament by the end of the day, in terms of the points, right? It gives you that ranking. The top 10 finishers will all win a prize. So we have a gaming tournament going on. I'll be participating. Maybe I get into the top 10. Eric will probably participate. Maybe he gets into the top 10. So we'll see. We might take a couple of those slots and save a little money. Maybe Eric wins himself a little something, something. But we have a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tournament day 1. Now, I'm not playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe all day. I don't need 11 hours to get all my races in. But I am going to get my races in. Don't you worry. It's going to happen, and you will get to watch me get my races in. But that's not it. We have special guests, guest segments, other YouTubers, other content creators coming on. to talk about very, very targeted and very specific topics. Also, the Eric versus Nate competitions are here forever. So you've heard me mention the Wheel of Death a few times. The Wheel of Death comes in 2 waves. One of those is every $100 in total super chats, the wheel is spun. Now the wheel for that goes back and forth. So the Wheel of Death is basically a random wheel that has a bunch of punishments on it. And we're talking, this is where people want the twerk on there, right? We're talking punishments Eric and we do not want to do. As an example, we had ice being dumped down the pants last year. Didn't want to do that. The Darunia dance, really didn't want to do that. That came up. The twerk, really didn't want to. Almost everything on the wheel came up last year. So we're probably going to add more to this year. The wheel's still being filled out. But as an example, we had the Da Bomb hot sauce last year was on the wheel. Right? We had, gosh, I don't even remember. There's so much stuff we had on that wheel. Shot of tequila is always on there. That's more of a punishment for me because I really hate tequila. Eric doesn't really care. So this year, I can tell you right now, like one of the things is we have the hottest chocolate in the world is on there. And I'm trying to decide if we're going to do, I'm trying to decide how we're going to handle it. If they're just going to be having to take a bite of the hottest chocolate, or if we're going to try to do like a 5-minute timer and put one in every 5 minutes and see if you survive. We had spicy ramen last year. Shotgun of beer. Yeah, shotgun of beer stays on there because that's Eric. Eric, alcohol-wise, hates beer. Anyways, the point is, it's a big punishment wheel with a bunch of stuff we don't want to do. One of them was gift 5 memberships as an example. I think Eric ended up hitting on that one. So spending money that we don't want to spend. So it's a really fun wheel that creates a lot of entertainment. There was like smash an egg on head or pie to face, and it's just stuff that's really entertaining. Entertaining for you guys. For us, I mean, sometimes it's entertaining for one of us, but not the person that's being punished, right? That's the whole point. So like if Eric's being punished, it's fun for me. If I'm being punished, it's fun for him. And if it's fun for us, it's all fun for you guys. So every $100 in super chats, or the loser of the Nate versus Eric segments. Now we're trying to get interesting this year with the Nate versus Eric segments. We like to step it up every year, okay? So I can tell you what some of these segments are, but not all of them, because we want to save some to be surprises. We also occasionally have an us versus you. We'll get into that during Prime Gaming Fest. We're saving that as a surprise. Last year we had something similar. We did a hangman thing. So yeah, just you'll see. Just to give you some examples, because these were already talked about publicly in a prior stream. There will be trivia. There's going to be a trivia segment. Nate versus Eric with trivia. I assume it's Nintendo trivia. Don't know. Haven't seen the questions. And that entire trivia thing is going to end up being entertaining because there's punishments throughout the trivia beyond the wheel. Thank you, Joycey. Joycey J made the trivia and also came up with the punishments. So let's just say there's punishments throughout us doing the trivia, let alone who has to spin the wheel. Could be a double whammy of you're super punished and then you also have to spin the wheel. You know, maybe there's some mercy out there. Maybe some of you guys might feel bad about it. We'll see. I have no idea. We also have board games we're bringing in this year for the first time. 2 board games in particular are going to happen. We're going to play a game of Nintendo Life Edition. Yes, we'll have a top-down camera and all this. Anyways, Nintendo Life Edition. And the loser of that has to spin the wheel. Now, we might add some caveats to the game, certain check marks you hit, or if you roll a certain, or I'm sorry, if you spin a certain thing on the dial, that also is an additional thing. We're still working out the rules on that. So that game has some punishments while we play as well to help the entertainment value. But basically, what'll happen during the board game segment is you're going to see, like, here's me up in this corner. Here's Eric either up here or down here, probably up here. Here's the board game, in the middle. And then, I don't know, probably chat on one side, a tally of scores on the other, or whatever. Anyways, the point is that Eric and I are going to be playing board games. So we got the Game of Life, Nintendo Life, obviously, Nintendo Prime. Makes sense to play a game of Nintendo Life Edition. We're also going to be playing Grim Reaper Checkers. Grim Reaper Checkers is fun. It's here. I've been looking at it. So there's these spicy peanuts. Like really, really spicy stuff. And there's 3 different levels to the spiciness. And we have to pack our checker pieces with 3 peanuts in each one. And every time you eliminate a piece, you know, they have to eat the peanuts in that piece. And it's going to be randomized. So we don't know what peanuts are in what pieces. So we never know when we're going to get the spiciest or when we're going to maybe get lucky and get the least spiciest. And then here's what's cool about this game. Anyone who gets a king, so you know you get to the other side of the board and you go, oh, king me. The opponent has to eat the peanuts that are in that king piece. So we already have a spicy game involved. It's gonna be real. That one I'm really looking forward to. I think that one's gonna be fun. Other Nate versus Eric things will happen. Yes, Eric versus Nate 3.0 Smash Bros has to come back, right? We got to play each other in Smash again. I beat him in 2021. He beat me last year. We're 1-1 during the shows. We need the deciding match. That'll happen this year. Who knows? Maybe it's not a deciding match because we're going to have Prime Gaming Fest going on forever. And again, every loser has to spin the wheel. Now, one caveat about this is that the rules for Smash will be set ahead of time. Last year, it wasn't. So I said, hey, we got to play 1v1 in Smash. Loser has to spin the wheel. I actually beat Eric. But I felt bad because he just spun the wheel twice. So I said, how about we make it best 2 out of 3? And of course he said sure, because he lost. He asked me, are you sure? Because I just won. And I said, yeah, we'll do best 2 out of 3. He goes on and kicks my ass 2 times in a row. Came back to bite me. So we're going to have it set ahead of time if it's going to be a best 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5. You know. Or if we're just going to go sudden death. I think we'll probably do at least a 2 out of 3 or a 3 out of 5. Because neither one of us really play Smash. So usually that first match is us just remembering the controls. But anyways. So there's that. We also have special conversation segments about very specific things. We have pre-shows for like the Xbox showcase. There's just a lot. It's a lot, guys. And somehow we get to the end of the day. Somehow the day just flies because we're so busy doing stuff. We don't schedule lunch breaks in. We just end up eating whenever the hell we eat. It's just fun. Stressful to plan it all. Sometimes stressful in the middle of it if equipment starts failing. We had a microphone malfunction last year during a game of Nintendo Beer Pong. That's right, that was a game we did last year. So that was stressful. But we fixed that this year. But I don't know if we're bringing back Nintendo Beer Pong. But things are still being fleshed out a little bit. Is Yuli going to be okay with this? Yuli is the reason it's happening. Because I was not going to do it this year and come back next year. But Yulia said, no, you can't skip it. So I'm doing it. Yeah, the camera broke midstream too. Yeah. Thankfully, we have other cameras. Well, that's what's nice is because of the rentals and all this stuff. Like, if a camera stops working, we can just hit a button and switch to a different camera. So we're prepared. We're more prepared than we were before. Doesn't mean I won't get up and try to fix the other camera, but, you know, the show can keep going with Eric or whatever. But Yulia's okay with it. It's her idea. Now, is she going to be okay with the kids? I mean, look, are my kids going to be fine? They'll be fine. They're fine. Will Yulia be fine? I mean, she gets to see me at 8 p.m. every night. She'll like that. But is she going to be fine in general? I don't know. Watching the kids is rough. No, that wasn't everything I wanted to talk about. That was just Prime Gaming. Is there any questions? Hetsu's dance has to happen. Yeah, we thought about replacing the Darunia dance with Hetsu's dance. We'll see. I gotta finalize that with her. A lot of the Nate versus Eric stuff and the punishment wheel will be settled this weekend. So, what do you think the Zelda release is in 2024? Wind Waker HD. I have no idea. You should have made the punishments more severe. Let me tell you, Joycey, if I get none of the trivia questions, I mean, that's 4 shots of tequila. I'm not even thinking about the beers or anything else. I'm just saying, I'm good. Because there's a chance I get everything wrong. There's a chance I get everything wrong. I'm just saying, I don't know what the trivia is. I might get it all wrong. You would figure Nintendo trivia, I'd be really good at it, but I mean, if the questions are things I don't know, I don't know. We already have the boards. This is where Eric and I'll be writing our answers. We got the boards, we're ready. But I don't think I'm gonna get them all wrong. I don't know what the questions are. So like, I don't want to know. I told Yulia, don't even hint. Don't even tell me game franchises. Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything. I want to be as blind as Eric. I don't want to be able to prep for it. Start Googling top 50 obscure Nintendo trivia. Just start memorizing it. Just curious, you mentioned board games, and this reminded me of you and Yulia. Have you seen the drinking checkers where the pieces are mini shot glasses? Yes, I have. Yeah. Eric can't do that. Not until he's on blood thinners. He can have some booze, but he can't do that kind of game. He's hoping to be off blood thinners within 2 years. But yeah, I mean, that's still a ways off, and he doesn't know for sure, so. The ice down the pants was a crowd pleaser last year. No, you didn't. You didn't see. Obviously, you don't get to see the nether region. But Yulia walked in. I was the one that got it. And pulled it out like this. And you just saw her dump a giant glass of ice straight down. And my immediate reaction was priceless. It was pretty entertaining. Yulia is hosting the trivia, but she's not going to be on camera. At least I don't think she's going to be on camera. She said she doesn't want to be on camera. She will be on microphone, of course. But let's see here. No, we're not flying anyone any Primify. Let's see here. After playing Tears of the Kingdom, do you have any ideas for what the DLC could be? No idea until after I beat the game. Did you hear about the collaboration between Nintendo and Dana creating a hardware company called Nintendo Systems? Yes. Of course I heard about it. I think I reported on it in a video, actually, Sager. All right. Anyways, you guys are welcome to ask any questions about Prime Gaming Fest from now into Prime. Yeah, you can ask questions during Prime Gaming Fest. I don't care. All right, let's get into the other stuff. Pikmin 4 sales predictions. 5 million. Gonna do Kirby numbers. Kirby, yeah, 5 million. That might be too much, but 5 million. Let's talk about other channel business. I put out a video today. Didn't do well. It's okay. I mean, I have 2 videos. One of them's doing okay. I don't know really where it's going to end up. It'll probably be north of 10K at least, which is, it's fine. I mean, that's the goal. The goal is every video be at 10K or higher. That's my goal right now. We haven't had one do that since the AAA Dev Blown Away video. And I knew that one would do okay because the one that had other quotes that was similar to that did 140 something thousand. So I knew this one would do fine. That one did 23. But we're not hitting 10K a video, right? Our last 3 videos haven't done it. So that's my goal. My goal is to get every video to 10K. We released a video today on Nintendo's first party games, everybody, blah, 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 the 1-2 Switch stuff. Did 2,000 views, and it is currently no longer getting views. It has gotten 3 views in the last hour. So it is done. It's done getting views. Oh, sorry, 2,400 views. That's really bad. That's like a $3 video that I spent a lot longer than what $3 is worth on. So what it made me realize, you just watched the DSP video, yeah. That video was fun to make. That was really fun. Even that video didn't perform well. That was really fun. What it made me realize is if I'm willing to release a video like that isn't going to perform well, right? Then why should I be afraid of covering other things that I don't know if they'll perform well, but they would be more fun to make videos on? Some of you might catch my drift on where I'm going with this. Nintendo news is very dry right now. Very dry. This happens. Nintendo ebbs and flows. We could have a lot of news for a couple of months and then nothing really worth talking about, which right now we're sort of in that nothing really worth talking about phase. Sure, you can keep talking about Zelda and make discussion videos, but in terms of news, there's nothing really worth talking about. So I might start making videos on news outside of Nintendo. It would not replace my Nintendo videos, but if I'm willing to make a video on everybody's 1-2 Switch that I knew wasn't going to perform very well, and it didn't, then I should be willing to cover things I'm more interested in. Let me give you an example of a video I might drop tomorrow. Imran Khan. Got a lot of cred right now. He was one of the first people to mention everybody's 1-2 Switch. He's got a lot of credit at the moment. And he's worked at a lot of major places. He worked at Game Informer and other places. Has put out there that Square Enix is slightly panicking over the Final Fantasy 16 pre-orders and how it's tracking well below Final Fantasy 15. Now, there's a whole bunch more with this story. But I'm not going to do it right now in case that would be, to me, a fun video to make. Now, would that get a lot of views? I don't think so. The only worry I have in talking about news from other companies, and it won't always be like this one might do okay because Nintendo fans like to shit on Sony. I don't. That's not the point of the story. But my only concern in covering more news is obviously when I do that, there's a lot more from the other companies to cover than there is Nintendo, just in general. Because now I'm combining, PC and Xbox and you combine all of gaming together. There's just a lot more non-Nintendo news in general than Nintendo news. And I got 2 concerns. One, what if I start making more of these videos than I do Nintendo? Is that going to alienate people? My number one concern is Am I going to lose subscribers because I do it? That's my concern. We are Nintendo-centric. We've been Nintendo-centric. I've made videos here and there on other company stuff, but not consistently over a period of time. It's never been consistent. And it still technically wouldn't be. Nintendo would always take priority. If there's Nintendo stuff to cover, we're doing that. Even if there's big news from the other go, it don't matter. We're doing that. So it's just... Most of you guys watching live will probably go, dude, if you make a video I don't want to watch, I just won't watch it. I'll stick around for the videos I want to watch. Or, hey, I want to hear your thoughts on everything. If you want to cover other stuff, you should cover other stuff, and I'm going to watch it anyways. Cool. The problem, of course, is what if I alienate people? And I mean, I'll know pretty quick if I'm alienating people because the subscribers will start going south. So I thought like I won't know the answer to this fairly quickly. There's also a chance that I could grow. My one bugaboo, and I can't change it now, is the channel name's Nintendo Prime. I literally can't change it anymore. Now that we're over 100K, like changing your channel name is like a death sentence. Can't change it. But my one bugaboo is, would people interested in Sony and Xbox and PC click on a video by a channel that says Nintendo Prime? Would they click on that video? Because the presumption would be obviously that I'm shitting on stuff from them. Can I really expand my user base with the name Nintendo Prime attached to a Sony or Xbox news item? Maybe. You can argue there's precedent for it. Dreamcast guy. Yeah, but Dreamcast is a dead platform, right? Nintendo's not a dead company. So, and then would I really grow a user base there if in periods of big Nintendo news, I'm really focused on that and less on. So, I can't change the channel name. I've already talked to YouTube about it. They've made a lot of policy changes. Changing the channel name would basically kill the channel. So I can't change the channel name. Nor do I want to. I got a brand here. I like my brand. But I think because Nintendo has so many dry spells, and we're in one now. Pikmin 4 stuff's going to pick up soon. But we're sort of in one now. Then I think it makes sense for me to try to cover other stuff. If I'm only going to get 2,000 views on a Nintendo news thing, well, then why the hell am I can go ahead and get 2,000 views talking about God of War Ragnarok or something. You know what I mean? Like it just feels to me like if I expand my horizons, I have more to talk about. And I think it'll make every video seem interesting. And maybe, as an example, instead of everybody's one to it, because Imran Khan thing's more recent. So let's say I said, Bloomberg confirms that Microsoft's exploring options to ignore UK's block and close the deal. Very interesting. What if I made that video instead? Would that have done better than 2,000 views? 2,400 views? Maybe. Would that have been a better video to make than making one about everybody's 1-2 switch? And instead, we just talk about everybody's 1-2 switch on a live stream or include it in a general news video we do on a different day. Also, this is the other conundrum. You guys know I do combo news videos. I don't do them every day. But for a while, I was getting close to every day. If I cover other people's news, combo news videos could have so much more news than them. That's a bigger deal. So this is sort of a... I'm not really playing with fire that much because the bottom line is I try it. If people unsub, I stop. Like, seriously, I just try it, and if it doesn't work, I stop. But, take the shades off now. I'm really red. I was trying to cover up how sunburned I am. I'm really sunburned. You know, like Chris Gonzalez says, I'll play the opposite, say that you are going to lose many subs. Maybe. Or I gain more. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. I think I'm going to try it starting tomorrow. And we'll see what happens. Maybe I start with that story. Or maybe it's something else. I don't know. But, I mean, it can't hurt to try. Because the worst that'll happen is each one of those videos loses me subs. And then it's a realization that if the views don't balance the loss in subs, then alrighty then. Cool. Why not have it be a segment twice a week? Because I make daily videos. It's not that I can't keep coming up with Nintendo videos to make every day. God, I've been doing it for a long time. But interesting videos. I mean, I'm willing to drop 2-3 videos a day. Especially Monday through Friday. I'm really willing to drop 2-3 videos a day. That's what I did for Zelda. Like, I'm willing to do that all the time. It doesn't just have to be Zelda. But I need stuff to talk about. Stuff that's interesting to talk about. And if I cover all of gaming, there's interesting things to talk about. Bottom line is I just try it. That I already made the decision, by the way. You guys can't sway me one way or another. I'm already going to try it and just see what happens. Because honestly, if I'm going to put out an Everybody 1-2 Switch video and that's going to do more, well, why not put out something that I actually want to talk about? So we're just going to try it and see how it goes. It may be a combo of my bomb-ass monitor and your phenomenal camera. This camera's not that phenomenal. This is not... The camera we're going to be renting this is not that great of a camera. No. This monitor... No, it's not the monitor. I literally... my face is burnt as hell. Oof doof. No matter what you make, I'm staying. I mean... The way and I've never really understood this about users. Like, if I start making content on other stuff, if you don't like that content, you don't gotta watch it. But then you get people like, oh, I don't want to get notifications on Sony and PlayStation stuff. I'm just gonna unsubscribe. Blah blah blah. Like, it's just a whole mess, you know. Will you ever be rich enough to buy a red one? I don't even know what that is. Anyways, so we'll see. We'll give her a try. And we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe it's a good thing to try it now heading into Prime Gaming Fest, since Prime Gaming Fest is going to be primarily about games that aren't on Switch. So maybe it's a good time to try it. We'll see. If it doesn't work out, it's whatever. We just go back to just Nintendo. Again, it's not like I can't come up with Nintendo stuff to talk about every day. But I've got the time to do more. So why not do more? Also, if you want to know why Mortal Kombat 1's coming to Switch, Mortal Kombat 11 is literally at number 6 on the eShop right now in the US. Yeah, it sold well. It did well. I saw some people mention, why don't you just open up a second channel? This is my job, so I do it for a living. And I'm not comfortable yet. So to do something, I have a second channel. I have 2 other channels, 3 other channels technically. One of them is monetized, my podcast channel. That isn't a podcast channel anymore, but anyways. I thought about rebranding that channel, but I don't want to... How do I put this? I don't think it's smart to try to grow that channel. I'm trying to make a point that I do have to care about the money a little bit. You know what I mean? This is the larger audience. Basically, we're going to experiment, see what happens here. If it doesn't work, I can just start offloading that content to the other channel, and that's totally fine. And I could just rebrand that channel to, I don't know if Gaming Prime even works. It's probably already a YouTube channel, but to something else. I don't know. Why not have a channel for clips called Bite Size? Because I don't make clips because I don't have time. According to the YouTube algorithm. You mean according to Social Blade? Yeah, I have to care about the money. Like, I don't make videos for the money, but it is my job now, so I have to care a little more. So reaching a larger audience and potentially getting more views, I have to care about. But then you weigh that against, oh yeah, you do that, but then also, here's the thing. If this channel was much larger, let's say I was a 500K channel, so subscriber-wise, and I was getting 50 to 100K views a video. Absolutely, we would just spin up that second channel and we would do other gaming news there. Why? Because just the announcement of that would probably instantly get that channel to 50,000 subscribers and having its own thing going on. I don't think announcing that at my size is going to change anything there. I don't think we gain anything from doing that right now. We're too small. Who knows? Here's the thing. It's something I put a lot of thought into. In the end, all that matters is when we get there, does it happen? Does it matter? Maybe I'm wrong about everything. Or maybe I'm right. I don't know. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's not. Hey, what happens when you make a mistake? Sweep it under the rug and lift your chin up and keep going. So, we'll see what happens. Starting tomorrow, we'll see what happens. We'll drop a non-Nintendo video and who knows? Maybe people love it. Maybe people love it and we get even bigger. You know? Prime Gaming. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that name's taken. I remember looking that up. I think Gaming Prime and Prime Gaming were both taken. Trust me, I've looked. Yeah, Prime Gaming is literally Amazon Prime. So yeah, no, they've taken it. So. I mean, it's not that big a deal. You probably like, here's what happens. Subscribers go down. Let's say I drop that video and I lose like 100 subscribers, which would just suck. Cool. I'll drop a new Zelda video and try to get those subscribers back. I'll try to counterbalance it. Not that I think I'd lose 100 subscribers in the first, I don't know, maybe. I have no idea. Also, like to dislike ratio. Does it suddenly go from 93 to 97% down to like 50? I don't know. There's lots of unknowns. It's lots of those you don't know if you don't try. I want to see if we can expand. If this goes really well, people love it, and those videos even add new subscribers, then hey, what are we doing? Like, in an ideal world, this goes swimmingly. Those videos also get good views. And before you know it, I'm now a channel with infinite things to cover. And that's awesome. Then, if I ever do anything else, that would be a new channel. And I would probably do tech or sports. Or both. But they'd be different channels. So it's like you just try and you see what happens. You know? It could end up being the most brilliant decision I've ever made, or it could just be a temporary little bump. And by next week, I'm not doing it anymore. All right, cool. You know, we got big events coming up. Covering some big Sony and Xbox stuff right now. Might be a big deal. We got the Spider-Man 2 hype. Starfield. Heck, we got a Starfield Direct coming up. Final Fantasy 16 comes out soon. Like, it might end up being really awesome. And hey, I own the systems. Like, if you think about this, this isn't even that difficult. Let's say I'm on camera. Let's say I'm on camera, right? And we want to make, and this is a PlayStation video, and we want to make it more Sony-centric. We want to make it more Sony-centric on the set. Get rid of the Xbox sign. Slide my PS5 over. Take the Switch. Move this down here. Grab a PS5 controller. Put this here. On the TV, throw my PS5 up there in the middle of a game or something. And all of a sudden, this set is transformed into a Sony set. All the way around. Xbox controller here. Leave the Xbox sign up. Xbox video back there. Remove the Nintendo stuff. Now this set is suddenly an Xbox set. That's the beauty of the set. I actually intended this set to be easy to transform. So, I'm just throwing out there that it's possible. Or I just change nothing in an ideal world. I don't have to change anything. And I just find a better way to represent all three systems. Like, Xbox is clearly represented, but PS5 is sometimes a little covered up. So maybe I need to have, like, the PlayStation 5 controllers more prominent. Go find my Sony sign, because I do have a PlayStation light-up sign as well somewhere. But, anyways. I can also change the color of the lights, too. Like, isn't Sony traditionally, like, blue color-wise and Xbox is green? I could change these to blue and green. Instead of being, like, the changing colors they are now. You know? The OG Xbox menu. Nice. Anyways. We have 4 minutes. We had a single super chat today. Thank you so much for keeping the super chat streak alive. So I don't have to super chat at the end. I had to do that in one of my streams. I had to do that. The streak was about to end, and I'm like, no. That's another thing that's happened, by the way. I've noticed something. So our viewership numbers exploded, and the subscribers exploded. The live stream viewers didn't, but the live stream money went away. It's very weird. You guys remember, and some of you guys probably do, we were averaging like $50 a live stream for like the last 2 years. But ever since we grew in subscriber numbers, we barely get super chats. Isn't that weird? It's like we're bigger than ever, but we barely get super chats because our live stream audience hasn't grown. 3 minutes till the stream ends. I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm not being like, oh my gosh, give me money. It's more of a, it's just a really interesting thing I've observed that like our average live stream revenue is in the toilet. I'm almost entirely reliant right now upon Bama Hut's gifted memberships and ad revenue. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how things shift. It's crazy how things shift. It's fine. We are making more ad revenue than we were. I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy how things shift around, you know. I think you need to live stream more often and more on a schedule. People need to look forward to the stream and coming expecting when it's coming. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 8 p.m. 4 days. It's been that way for like a year. And it's going to keep being that way. I know today's a Friday. I wasn't feeling good yesterday, so I moved Thursday's stream to tonight. But normally it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday's the podcast. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. It's super consistent. I'm really consistent about it. So my streams are at the same times. My streams are on the same days most of the time. Very consistent. Doesn't change anything really. I haven't noticed any viewership. In fact, sometimes when I stream randomly, I get better viewership on my streams. Maybe it's because people didn't expect it. I don't know. Or I'm hitting on a new audience. Beats me. Like maybe a lot of my new subscribers are daytime viewers. So now I need to like stream during the day. Oh. Christopher Mitzel. Ending the stream with a super chat. Let's go, baby. Oh, yeah, we got Prime Game Fest hoodies. I've ordered 2 hoodies and 2 shirts myself. If you order them right now or tomorrow, there's a possibility they arrive during Prime Gaming Fest. I'm just saying. If you order today or tomorrow, they might arrive during Prime Gaming Fest. Could be, honestly. Yeah, literally, it could be. First you've heard of this guy. Yeah, it's literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Every night. Wednesday is the podcast. Our podcast numbers are down too. I've noticed our last 2 podcasts have not done fantastic. But that's all right. Everyone's playing Tears of the Kingdom. That's what's happening. Everyone's playing Tears of the Kingdom. So, it's cool. Well, what happens if the Nintendo Prime... Maybe what happens if the Nintendo Prime podcast expands? Dude, if those videos do well and we could talk about non-Nintendo topics on the podcast, holy crap. I have to get different podcasts. Like, almost all my podcasts are exclusive Nintendo people, though. I'd have to, like, start reaching out to other content creators. Be like, we need people on who do more than Nintendo. Stream sucked during the day. You're one of the few streams where I actually like the mods. Well, some of the mods will be around during the day, but I mean, you know. Obviously, the mods all know when my streams are. Did I never feature that super chat? I gotta feature Christopher Mitzel here. Shot him. But we're not done. Anixia. Is that name? Is that your actual name? Well, it's probably not your real name, but is that a play on the World of Warcraft boss? Because it looks like an alternate version of the World of Warcraft boss's name. The dragon. I live stream? What? Anyways, I'm a new viewer. But I love what you do so far. Found your channel from Tears of the Kingdom, and I love it so far. I'll have to catch more lives, I guess. Yeah, dude, I try to be entertaining in my lives. I'm really open and honest. No one has to pay me money to talk to me, but I do obviously appreciate it. And obviously all the super chats get priority, but I will always respond to comments and questions from the chat, even if I can't always get to all of them. We've had some live streams get really crazy in the past. Can't get to everything, but man, I try to stay pretty open, honest, and available to my community. And then we just keep growing from there. I mean, even now, you know, I can't even say the live streams haven't grown. I mean, last year, guys, what were we averaging 50 views a live stream? Like 50 concurrent? And now we average around 100. So, yeah, the live streams have technically grown, I suppose. They just haven't grown as quick as the rest of the channel, right? So, maybe this time next year we're getting 200 every live stream, you know? That's a WoW boss? Nah, I just always gone by the Onyx Spy on all of my gaming accounts. I wanted to try my hand at music, so okay. Okay. At least you know I was in World of Warcraft. A little bit. Let me get the exact name of the boss I was thinking of. Let me look up quick. Yep. It's literally spelled the same. Oh, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. It's literally spelled, yes. Yes, it is the name of a boss in World of Warcraft. So I'm not crazy. I'm like, man, why the name looks so familiar to me, World of Warcraft. I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft. So I'm like, is that based on that name? It's literally spelled exactly the same. Oh, I'm not crazy. All right. Thought for a moment I might have been crazy. Just a nerd. See, I play more than Nintendo. That's got nothing to do with Nintendo, and I recognized it. You know what I am afraid of? Covering positive PlayStation news and seeing more of Risky Gulmar in the comments. Talking about PlayStation over Nintendo. I'm so tired of fanboy wars. You have a beat machine? I do not have a beat machine, no.
I'll be right back. Don't you go dying on me.
All right, guys. Catch you guys next week. Next live stream should be Monday at 8 p.m. Central. I say that. We will do the live stream on Monday. It's Tuesday, we may cancel. But I'll let you know during the Monday stream if we cancel Tuesdays. Because we have that Prime Gaming Fest coming up, I want to spend some extra time with Yulia and the kids. So I'm going to be adjusting my stream schedule a bit, but I think we'll still be streaming on Monday. If I'm not, pay attention to Twitter or Discord. I'll make an announcement there on over the weekend when my next stream is going to be. So I want to make sure I spend some time with the fam before we do those 12-hour days, 4 days in a row. All right, guys. Later. Peace out.